Books and One-Click Digital present 12 Years a Slave by Solomon Northup, narrated by Peter J. Fernandez and directed by Stephen Bartolome. One-Click Digital provides free audiobook downloads in partnership with thousands of public libraries. To see if One-Click Digital's extensive catalog is available to you, visit your library's website. This book begins with a quotation from Key to Uncle Tom's Cabin. It is a singular coincidence that Solomon Northup was carried to a plantation in the Red River country, that same region where the scene of Uncle Tom's captivity was laid, and his account of this plantation and the mode of life there, and some incidents which he describes, form a striking parallel to that history. To Harriet Beecher Stowe, whose name throughout the world is identified with the Great Reform, this narrative, affording another key to Uncle Tom's Cabin, is respectfully dedicated. This book also opens with the following lines from William Cooper. Such dupes are men to custom, and so prone to reverence what is ancient, and can plead a course of long observance for its use, that even servitude, the worst of ills, because delivered down from sire to son, is kept and guarded as a sacred thing. But is it fit, or can it bear the shock of rational discussion, that a man compounded and made up, like other men, of elements tumultuous, in who lust and folly in as ample measure meet, as in the bosom of the slave he rules, should be a despot absolute, and boast himself the only free man of his land? And now, 12 Years a Slave. Narrative of Solomon Northup, a citizen of New York, kidnapped in Washington City in 1841 and rescued in 1853 from a cotton plantation near the Red River in Louisiana.
Narrative of Solomon Northup. Chapter 1. Having been born a freeman, and for more than 30 years enjoyed the blessings of liberty in a free state, and having at the end of that time been kidnapped and sold into slavery, where I remained until happily rescued in the month of January 1853, after a bondage of 12 years, it has been suggested that an account of my life and fortunes would not be uninteresting to the public. Since my return to liberty, I have not failed to perceive the increasing interest throughout the northern states in regard to the subject of slavery. Works of fiction professing to portray its features in their more pleasing as well as more repugnant aspects have been circulated to an extent unprecedented, and as I understand, have created a fruitful topic of comment and discussion. I can speak of slavery only so far as it came under my own observation, only so far as I have known and experienced it in my own person. My object is to give a candid and truthful statement of facts, to repeat the story of my life without exaggeration, leaving it for others to determine whether even the pages of fiction present a picture of more cruel wrong or a severer bondage. As far back as I have been able to ascertain, my ancestors on the paternal side were slaves in Rhode Island. They belonged to a family by the name of Northup, one of whom, removing to the state of New York, settled at Hoosick in Rensselaer County. He brought with him Mintus Northup, my father. On the death of this gentleman, which must have occurred some 50 years ago, my father became free, having been emancipated by a direction in his will. Henry B. Northup, Esquire, of Sandy Hill, a distinguished counselor at law, and the man to whom, under Providence, I am indebted for my present liberty and my return to the society of my wife and children, is a relative of the family in which my forefathers were thus held to service, and from which they took the name I bear. To this fact may be attributed the persevering interest he has taken in my behalf. Sometime after my father's liberation, he removed to the town of Minerva, Essex County, New York, where I was born, in the month of July, 1808. How long he remained in the latter place I have not the means of definitely ascertaining. From thence he removed to Granville, Washington County, near a place known as Slyboro, where for some years he labored on the farm of Clark Northup, also a relative of his old master. From thence he removed to the Alden Farm at Moss Street, a short distance north of the village of Sandy Hill, and from thence to the farm now owned by Russell Pratt, situated on the road leading from Fort Edward to Argyle, where he continued to reside.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.